Hi, Creek Kids. I'm super excited you're here today. I'm reading from Joshua chapters 1 through 6 about, oh my goodness, some spies who went into the land to see, the promised land that is, the land of Canaan, to see what was going on in there. Do you want to hear a Bible story with me? You know, the Bible. Yes, that's the book for me. I stand alone on the Word of God, the Bible. Well, God told Joshua, I want you to go into Canaan and I want you to see what's going on in there. Send 2 spies in to see who's there, what's going on, so that you can know the next part of your journey. You see, when the Israelites were traveling, God was always with them, and He protected them, He guided them, and most of all, He would tell Moses exactly what they needed to do. And Moses listened faithfully to the Lord. And now Joshua is leading his people, God's people, that is. The Israelites were camped along the Jordan River, and on the other side of the river was the city of Jericho. Jericho was surrounded by a giant wall. It was a wall of bricks, and it was thick, and it really, most people said, there's no way anybody can get through that wall. It's giant. Nobody, that is, except for God, because God can do anything He wants to do, can't He? He can do all things. Well, as the spies were walking around the city, they were looking at the wall, they were looking at the buildings, they were looking at the army, they were looking at everything. The mean old king found out that there were spies. They had nowhere to hide. They didn't know what to do. Well, they met a woman named Rahab, and Rahab said, I will hide you. And she did. She hid them up on the roof of her house. It's quite interesting. She hid them on the roof of her house and covered them up with some straw. So as they were hiding, they were safe. And then when they were all done hiding, Rahab said, when God sends His army into Jericho, will you save me? And the spies said, we will come and get you. You will be safe because you have helped 2 of God's people. Well, listen to this. God told Joshua exactly what to do. The army began to march around the city. Boys and girls, will you stand up? I want to hear your feet. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. They marched around the city, and the priests had trumpets, marching, 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 and then the priests would blow their trumpets. And they did that for 6 days in a row. The soldiers marched, the priests blew their trumpets, and all the people inside the wall, the city of Jericho, thought, what are those people doing? Well, that's weird. They're playing trumpets and they're marching? God told Joshua, have them do that for 6 whole days. On the 7th day, God said, Joshua, tell the army to march around the walls 7 times. Marching, marching, and let's count to 7. Will you count with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And when they had just finished going around 7 times, the priests played one loud blast of a trumpet. And all of the soldiers shouted for the Lord. And when they did that, the walls of Jericho came tumbling down. You know that song, Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, and the walls came a tumbling down. That's what happened. The army charged into Jericho and they took over the city, and they found a red cord hanging out from one of the apartments that was Rahab's home. And they saved Rahab's life and all of her family because she had saved the lives of the two spies. Now, do you think a wall could fall down just because soldiers marched around it and priests played a trumpet? No way. Could a wall fall down just from soldiers marching around it 7 times and priests playing a trumpet? No, man could not do that. But with God, all things are possible. And because God wanted to teach the Israelite army that I am with you, God is with you. And with God, you can do great things. What a great story. Maybe you, boys and girls, could build a wall this weekend or this week. Maybe with some bricks or some boxes, or maybe you have some of those cardboard smaller bricks and you could build one. You could march around it, blow those trumpets, and then that wall comes tumbling down. I'm so glad you were here today, kids. I love this Bible story. And if you want to read more about it, have Mom and Daddy read it to you from their Bible, Joshua 1-6. Creek Kids, I hope you come right back here next week. You are loved here at Creek Kids. Bye, friends.